And it's addressed to me or just in general?
The one who goes to is directed to the operations board.
I mean, no, I think the whole point here. Okay.
The CSE.
Okay, well, as long as it's not just me. Jeez, because yes, I know. Yes,
No, you're fine. I just want to see what I
I saw him at graduations. And I just think,
Somebody said my name.
The shirts, can I just see you?
Okay.
Yeah, Shelby's been wanting so much. I was hoping, no Diane. You know what she's talking about? No, not yet. Hello, everybody. We're going to be getting started here in just a couple minutes.
Hey, mister.
Okay, Tracy, we're ready. Now I can see further problems and more basketballs. Right? Now, but it's an age thing too, right? You know, as you get older, they can't read. No, that's a joke. Okay, we currently sit at 16 members. We have
We're missing Sarah. Sarah is on her way with Isabel.
that's my understanding.
Diane is supposed to be here, yeah. Diane is supposed to be here, yes.
We do not. We currently have four. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. For everybody in the room, we're a little more formal, obviously, this morning because this is our first AGM, given our nonprofit status. So we're going to walk through the official proceedings starting in a moment, and then following all of that, we'll have more of our normal, typical meeting, where we're going to focus on our planning for February 24th. So for those online, my name is Tracy Moisan. Good morning, everybody in the room. We were talking this morning about sometimes not remembering names and faces. Tracy Moisan. I have been pleased for the last 2 years to be our co-chair of this group, and I'm very excited to call to order our first official AGM. I want to welcome everyone. As Rob said, we do have quorum. Everybody in the room has signed their membership sheets and given them to Rob. So we're going to go ahead and begin. I'm also thankful to welcome Sue Wilson, who is joining us this morning, and we have asked Sue to be the moderator for our first AGM. So I'm actually going to hand this over to her, and she's going to take us through the formal part of our AGM, which is a requirement now for us under our nonprofit status. So thank you, Sue.
good morning, everyone. It's nice to be able to come to Smith Falls and enjoy the scenery from downtown Vankleek Hill. At this time, continue on with the agenda that you have before you. May I please have a mover to appoint me as the moderator? Moved by Mary Kay. Seconded by, could you call your names, please?
Derek Leach.
Derek? Any comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Moving along the agenda, you have it before you. I have been notified that under number C, the establishment of fiscal year, it reads January 1st to March 31st. We have an amendment to read from January 1st to December 31st. May I please have a mover to accept the amended agenda as presented?
Tracy Moisan.
Moved by Tracy. Seconded by Shelley. Comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carried. At this time, I call upon Shelley Moore to address the treasurer's report.
So you should have all received a copy.
Could I ask you to come to the
Oh my
podium, please?
goodness.
I said we were gonna be a little more formal this time.
So I'm Shelley Moore, the treasurer for Rural FASD Support Network. You'll notice on the financial statement that we had an opening book balance in December 31st, 2018 of $8,775.17. And the majority of our funding has come from Health Nexus. And we've had a successful fundraiser that raised $1,602.50. And we also got some money from Children's Mental Health of Leeds Granville. They gave us $2,000, which actually was used to get our nonprofit status. That was the intent of that money. So, and a few donations for a total revenue of $11,928.50 for this year. Most of our expenses have been around. You'll notice we've got a total of $10,798.75 in the caregiver support. So we had to separate. We separated out the funding because Health Nexus gave us money for the caregiver support group and then for people impacted with FASD. So we separated out those expenses so that we could keep track of them. And so the caregiver support group, we spent $10,798.75. The majority of that was spent on childcare costs, which was $1,500. And we did some significant events. We did a meeting, a service provider event in February of 2019, where we had 60 plus service providers come and learn about FASD. So we spent some money there. And then we also did, we sent 10 caregivers to the Kim Barthel workshop on learning how to be a sensory detective. So that's been the bulk of where the money has gone to. Let's see, and then we did a little bit. We did some honorariums for speaker gifts as well as an honorarium for the church, because the church, Calvary Bible Church, gives us this space for free. So we give them a donation near the end of our year. As far as the people impacted with FASD, we had two major events. One was in January, I think it was the 4th of 2019. We went to the Ottawa Senators game, and then and there was 40 people that we paid to go to this Senators game. And then the other one was we had Providence Point, where there was about 30 caregivers and people living with FASD there, and we had an overnight camp. So that's where The bulk of the money went for people impacted with FASD for a total of $7,899.81. So you'll notice that our book balance as of December 31st was $2,500.11. Any questions?
Thank you, Shelley. In order to receive the motion, the treasurer's report, may I have a mover to accept the treasurer's report?
David O'Liberty?
Dave. Seconded by?
Steve Whitson.
Oh, Steve. Are there any comments or questions for Shelley? Seeing none, motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Motion carried. Moving along to the auditor's report. Shelley, I invite you back up, please.
So we had Phil Hogan, who is a CPA, CMA, do the audit of our books. And his comments are, I have reviewed the books and various transactions that have occurred to develop the financial statements for the Rural FASD Support Network as presented. This covers the periods of 4 months ended December 31st, 2018, and the 12 months ended December 31st, 2019. The statements reflect the financial activity that has taken place. And he gave us some feedback moving forward as a nonprofit. So once we've assigned a new treasurer, we'll talk about a couple other procedures we want to put in place, such as possibly getting a Rural FASD credit card, so that we're not having to reimburse the executive for purchases that need a credit card. That's one of the biggest ones that he suggested we do. So.
Okay, thank you, Shelley. May I have a motion to put the auditor's report in the minutes, please? Moved by Mary Kate. Seconded by?
Michelle?
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Motion carried. Moving along to new business, we have the elections of the directors, and we will be accepting nominations from the floor. Should there be more people that are interested, then we would go to a secret ballot election form. Should there only be a few people that are interested in the positions, then we will just fill the positions. And then after that, the people that have allowed their names to stand in this election process will complete the agenda, and then they will move off into another room to carry on their business and appoint the people for the positions that will be open. Everybody comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Sue, can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Several of our existing board members from the first term are not carrying forward as board members. They're still carrying forward as voting members.
Okay,
Do we need to communicate that so everyone's aware before nominations?
Yeah.
yes you do.
So, I guess a couple things in terms of questions regarding this. The first one is, we have received notice at this point, as you know, that Tracy Moisen has been instrumental in terms of serving as the chair here for the last 2 years. Most of the board members at this point, we are definitely in full agreement. This has been a long, hard path for a couple of years now. There are definitely several individuals now who are thrilled to see that our core has now grown and are definitely looking at a transition to a new board going forward. On that note, Tracy has, as I said before, has been serving as our chair. She has asked to remain as a member, but not to be nominated as a director for this particular upcoming year. We have also received notice that Stacy has served with us for these past 2 years as well. She's also asked for her name not to be nominated for the board going forward for this year. Diane, I didn't get clarification.
She's
So,
on her way, her little one's 6, so I'm
Yeah.
not clear if she does not want to be in a major role, but I
she
don't
doesn't, we know that Diane does not want to be in an executive role, but we're not clear as to whether, so I think at this point where we're at is because she's not present, I don't actually have a membership she signed for her at this point, so she would not be eligible to be elected today as a board of director member. So,
Can I mean, just a comment, and I don't want to
Sure.
speak for Stacy. I know for me, this is not in any way an indication of stepping back from this group. As Rob said, this has been a long journey for 2 years. I think we were all sharing this week, we're incredibly proud of what has been built over the last 2 years. We are in a spot as a family where we're going to just take a step back from the board position, but absolutely still stay deeply involved and ingrained in this group. And again, that's where we are right now. I know the board is going to talk about terms later on. I guess in short, again, I don't want to speak for you. It's not a matter of going
Sort of
anywhere.
the same sort of situation, yeah.
We just need to step back. And so many more people have come to the table and have gotten involved over the last 2 years that there's just such an incredible group.
thank you.
So that being said, moving along,
So the other half of this then as well, just so that you understand what allowing your name to stand for the position of a director, what that's going to look like. We have, as Sue said, within our bylaws, we are able to have up to 10 directors sit on the board. Out of those 10, the board, once it's elected, will then determine who the 4 executive positions are. The 4 executive positions will consist of the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and the treasurer. Those positions will be determined within the 10 or less individuals who end up getting elected here. The second thing that's important to recognize too is during that meeting, we will also be determining the length of term. So within our bylaws, we do have some director positions. For this one will be just for 1 year. There will be others that will be for 2 years, and there will be others that will be for 3 years. And again, that will be a conversation that happens within the board itself as to who's going to fill which of those roles. Okay. So the other one to share as well, just so that you understand where the conversations currently sit within the board, there are several funding applications that are out right now, which include the Perth District Community Fund, the Tweed Collective Fund, the Bell Let's Talk Fund, and there's a couple others that may be coming in a little bit later as well. The hope is, as a result of next week's meetings and so on, there may be some stuff that comes out of that. So our objective right now that we've kind of focused on is we recognize 2 things. One is there are several community organizations that have been talking with us wanting to partner in different ways. There seems to be a kind of a consensus that looking at a social enterprise is something that could be very viable. For any of that to happen though, we are really in need now of a strategic plan. That strategic plan potentially could be completely covered through the Perth District Community Fund. That's what that application is about. And really that will be the main thing of the board, is to determine what's the future direction of this organization. Within that, we do not anticipate any more than 2 or 3 meetings during the entire year, depending on how things develop. Those meetings will consist, and potentially can even be done through Zoom conferencing, so that we're not even having to physically meet. We can definitely do it online as well when the board meets. So that's really what the obligation is. If you simply want to be a member of large on the board, you're essentially looking at 2 or 3 meetings throughout the year. You would be kept informed as to how some of the things that are being developed, and then finally you would have the opportunity to have input into the strategic plan. That's it.
Perfect. So, I gave you Diane's, yeah.
Okay. So we have also been informed at this point that Diane Greer has also been added in as a member and is willing to allow her name to stand for nomination as a director as well.
A member at large, yeah.
Would you let your name stand? Would you let your name stand?
No.
Okay.
Okay. At this point, I'm opening the floor to nominations.
I nominate Rob Moore.
Okay, and may I have your name, please?
David.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to nominate Shelley Moore.
Tracy Moisette.
Mary Kate Ritson.
Any other people interested, allowing their names to stand?
Steve Briston. I have
Diane Greer, for member at large.
That would be fine, yeah.
Michelle Kilmer.
Anybody else interested in allowing their name to stand?
David.
Nomination for me. Derek Leach. Nomination for me. Malcolm, I don't have any nominations online right now. I'm not sure. I have one message here saying that all I'm hearing is a buzzing sound. So I'm not sure if that's just the one individual, or if right now I do not have any nominations online. I do have a nomination of Malcolm McIntosh. Malcolm McIntosh is unfortunately not here today, but he has said that he would allow his name to stand from a board, a director position. Just so that you know, some of you met Malcolm at our launch. Malcolm was the keynote speaker when we launched 2 years ago and shared his story about his adult daughter and what he and his wife have gone through. Malcolm also serves as the chair of this church. On the church council here for this church, he's the chair for them. And
Was instrumental in getting this spot for us.
and is has a lot of experience in terms of governance and strategic planning and all of those types of things.
Is anybody else interested in allowing their name to stand for the 10th position?
Does anybody have any indication? Karen Moore, has she given any indication?
No.
At this time, I'm closing the nominations. And asking for a motion to allow the 9 names of the individuals to stand as presented. Moved by Derek. Seconded by Sarah. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, everybody. Motion's carried.
Congratulations.
Great job. Moving along the agenda, you have the appointment of the auditor, Phil Hogan at 297 Ferguson Tetlock Road, Smith Falls.
Can I just make a comment before? So we have done some research, based on where our income, our revenues are at. At this stage, we do not need a formal auditor. We just need someone with a CPA to review the books. So until we get a little bit more financial, we're not going to go and look for a formal auditor. It's strictly going to be a financial audit review like what was done this year.
Everybody comfortable?
Yes.
May I have a mover to accept the appointment of Phil Hogan from Smith Falls? Moved by Mary Kate. Seconded by Steve. Comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carried. We have already determined here through the amendment that the establishment of the fiscal year will move to January 1st to December 31st. Is everybody comfortable with that decision?
Yes.
Okay. Appointment of the banker, the Royal Bank at Smith Falls, Ontario. May I have a mover to accept the appointment of the Royal Bank at Smith Falls? Moved by Tracy. Seconded by Michelle. Comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carried. The date of your next meeting, it is my understanding that the meeting will be on March 20th, which is a Saturday.
I'm just wondering, that's at the end of the March break. Is there any way we could reschedule that meeting for people, or because of the location and?
It's because of the
Okay.
location, so the church is, this is, the church reserves third Saturday.
Okay.
The church gets used by other youth groups, so,
Yep, absolutely.
yeah.
Yep.
At this point, we are at 11:01, or 11:03 actually, according to the church clock. May I?
The 20th is a Friday, so it must be the 21st.
Sorry, Sue.
That's okay. Hey, my co-chair on the right.
Thank you.
So everybody, it's March 21st, Saturday. Moving along your agenda, it is 11:04 now. May I have a mover to officially close the formal part of your meeting? Moved by Steve, seconded by David. Comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carried. At this time, everybody, there's going to be a break. You want to take, 15 minutes? And then at that time, I'm going to invite the Board of Trustees, Board of Directors. I knew that would happen. The Board of Trustees to move into the sanctuary. That's a 20-year habit,
Thank you very
sorry.
much, guys, that concludes us.
Oh, my goodness. That's just,
Okay.
Before we go,
Yeah.
I gotta get a hug.
how are you?
Good, my darling. Yeah, just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's been out in the cold,
Oh, wow.
but
Oh, my God, that's gorgeous.
yeah, this is courtesy of good friends of mine that run a sign company in Carlton Place. So they know good things we're doing. And they came